And that's how a theme song goes. Welcome back to the Constitutionals Podcast. I'm your host, Chad White. And if you didn't know, this is the premier podcast for cpluscomedy.com. It's a website. Go there. Hey, everybody. Welcome back. I'm happy to have said the spiel that I usually say at the top of this episode. And now we are back. What's going on with me? How am I doing? I don't know. I guess I'm doing fine. I think I'm in a decent place right now. You know, life wise. I'm messing with this lamp behind me, in front of me. It's on the desk. I think I'm fine. I could be better. I could always be better. Let's be honest. All of us could always be better. You know, at some point it's just gonna level out. At some point, you know, it's going to level out and it can go higher from there. And that's what we live for. Those are the points that we live for. The points where we're not doing horribly, we're not doing poorly, but we got to find some way to make life that much better. And that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to make life that much better. I finally have just a little bit of scratch in my pocket from working all of these jobs. Finally had just a little bit of money in my pocket. I ended up spending a lot of money this past weekend on things that I admittedly needed, but man, oh man, did that come at a cost, a literal cost. Bought a lot of food. I bought a video game. It was on sale for $7. Well, actually, no. Here's the thing. I have the Nintendo Switch. I have all the consoles. We already know this. I have a Nintendo Switch as well. And there was a sale that Target was doing, was half off of Mario plus Rabbids. It's a Ubisoft game created with Nintendo. Mario plus Rabbids, turn-based strategy game. It's like XCOM, but with Mario and Rabbid characters. And Rabbids are those rabbits. Ubisoft is a French company that creates video games. They did Assassin's Creed, Rayman, and then the Rayman spin off Rayman's Raving Rabbids. And then they have the Rabbids, whatever. Okay. Rabbids are those knowing little rabbits. So it's a really good game. I know all the reviews. I read all the reviews. I was excited to see this thing come out. Nintendo games never go on sale. So, if they go on sale, it's like $10 off. So, Target had it off for half off. So, it's $30. And then there was this promotion if you bought it through Google Assistant, which I have because I have a Google Home. I have Android. I'm an Android boy. It was you get 20% off of your first order, which I missed. And it was sold out. I went to the gym. I saw the link. I said, I'm going to do that after I go to the gym. I went to the gym, sold out. Should have bought it when I was before the gym. I had time, I had the money. It was $17 with that 20% off. So 30% off, 20% off of the 30 was $17, I think. And then I just said, you know what, fine. Since I'm a server, I have I have a little bit of extra cash on me at all times. So I split the difference. I used the tips I had, and I used half the tips, and I bought the rest on the card. And that's how you game the system. It was like I got on sale because I had those tips. Oh my gosh. And that's it. That's the most exciting thing. Nah, that's not the most exciting thing, but that is an interesting aspect about me. I like to get things cheap, but I like to do it in a way that doesn't make it look like I'm getting things cheap. Before I get into more personal things about my life, I want to talk about something that's near and dear to my heart. On Saturday morning, I woke up. No, Friday. Was that Friday? Really? No. Yeah, because I didn't know it was Friday night when the story broke. Saturday morning, I woke up before I went to work around 7 o'clock. I woke up and Google sent me this link. Google suggested this link to me that said, here's the headline. This is only going to just hit a few of us in the heart. It's not going to hit all of us. It's going to hit a few of us. The attacks Kevin Pereira acknowledges Twitch viewbotting controversy. So if you don't know who Kevin Pereira is, and I assume you really don't, because it's a niche thing that he does. I'm gonna call him KP from now on. Kevin was a guy who he was on a TV. He was on. I've done an episode of News Time about G4 TV. I'm not gonna explain it too much, but it was a tech TV channel that was a mixture of, or that was a combination of tech TV and some other channel. And so tech TV turned into G4 TV, and they did video game stuff, video game coverage, video game reviews, tech coverage, tech reviews, pop culture stuff. It used to be, and for in the early 2000s, it was the only way that gamers and I hate this word, geeks and nerds alike could all come together and how they could experience things, because the internet wasn't, as fast and big, and it was big, but it wasn't as fast as it is now. So there were like Twitch wasn't a thing, and YouTube wasn't a thing, obviously, and until like 2005, and so. Early 2000s. That's how you watched E3. That's how you watched. I think they did CES coverage later on. They did it later on, but not. I don't know if they did it early on. That's how you learn about the newest computers, the newest graphics cards, the newest video games, the newest consoles. That's how you learn about everything. The reviews for games and everything. It was wonderful. X-Play, Attack of the Show, blah blah blah. So speaking of Attack of the Show, I did another story. So this is another episode of News Time I did where Disney bought a lot of gamer centric shows from YouTube personalities and online personalities. And you should definitely go watch that episode too, because that was as deep as possible. And so basically Disney bought them they did a trial run. It was supposed to be a trial run this past summer. So IGN had a show, Vice's Waypoint had a show, and The Attack, which was an online show, successor to Attack of the Show, which was on G4 until E decided to end G4 forever. Because they were just playing cops all the time and cheaters. But they did have a show called Cheat with a guy, I don't know his name. His name was Corey something, and it was a show about cheat codes, the best cheat codes in video games. And it's so high concept, but I love that show so much. I specifically remember the Simpsons Hit and Run episode. I used to watch it. And then Kristen Adams hosted that show. All right, anyway, that's too much. That's too much things I know about that. But so Disney did a trial run with all of these shows, a whole bunch of shows that were like, really, I admittedly I didn't watch all of them, but they were so good for what they were, because they were bringing back the old spirit of G4. So I did a little mixture episode of that, and then so at the end of August, I believe, Disney said, okay, they're gonna go away for a while, and they went away, and now they're gone. Disney's not bringing them back. In short, Disney's not bringing any of those shows back. Basically, the IGN they're all derelict. They're all done. They're all done for. But the one thing about this is really important. It really irks me, is that The Attack was a show that existed on the internet. It existed on TV, then it existed on the internet, and now it existed on TV, and now it went back to the internet, and it was unceremoniously taken off, because they had to, for when it was on Twitch, when it was on Twitch, I'll get to that in a second. When it was on Twitch, it was a show. It was an hour and some change show that was the same Attack of the Show, except with two different hosts. But it had the same spirit, the same life, and Kevin Pereira was the executive producer / creator. And with the Disney deal, Disney gave them money to keep doing the show, because they were struggling to do it, because it was basically a crowdsourced show, and doing it weekly was just so expensive because they had a whole crew of people. And so Disney gave them money to do the show, but on the caveat that the show is a half hour long and that they don't have suggestive themes or cursing in it. And so The Attack, obviously having this new influx of money, would just bend to the will of Disney. They did that for 20 episodes, I think, 20 half hours, and then Disney goes and cancels the entire gaming block, Polaris gaming block, I think that's what it's called. It's supposed to run from 9 p.m. to 3 a.m. every single day, with new episodes every single day. But it's just so ridiculous that they did that. And so what this article is about that came out on Friday that I read on Saturday was in order to make it seem like The Attack was still doing well, because after the Disney thing, they were still running low on money. They were running low, like you can only get so much money from the crowd, from the people like us that are watching it. We can only give so much as well, and they're only getting so much because they have such a big crew and it's a big operation. They actually have a studio. They own these great cameras. They have such a good production crew for a show that's shot on the internet for 1 hour a week. It used to be 3 times a week, but now it's an hour a week. And so the Kevin Pereira, the man in charge, was doing a thing. He was buying bots to make it look like, to inflate the show's views. So, it's not illegal, but it's not ethical. And so someone on Twitch found out, and then Kevin Pereira basically came out and said, "Hey guys, I was doing this. He was violating Twitch's terms of service. Hey guys, I did this. I'm sorry. I just didn't want everybody to know that things weren't going well, and it just sucks. And so I'm not gonna lie, I shed a tear because I grew up with that show, Attack of the Show, and then seeing this come back, I think 3 years ago. Then now to see it go away like this, but apparently it's not going away. It's going to be, I don't know. It's going to be something else. This is what I'm following people's Twitters and everything, and it seems like this show is going to come back in some form or another. But it sucks. It sucks because it was a good show. It was very funny, and I liked it a lot. And it just sucks that it had to go out that way. But, all right. Anyway, moving along to another thing. Far Cry 5. I was playing this past weekend. Far Cry 5 came out, and I rented the game on Redbox. Apparently, this is something I did not know. I've rented games with them before. You can either rent a game once a day. You can have it for a day for $3 a day, or you can rent it for 3 days for $8. That's $1 deduction if you're doing the math right. I did the $8. But I returned it today. I got it on Friday, returned it today. Today's Monday, obviously, and and I think it's going to cost me at least $15 because I returned it at $8.48. And last time I did that with a movie, they charged me for the extra 2 days, which it was like $1.50, which I was not happy about. But whatever. Anyway, Far Cry 5 is a video game that is the 5th game of the Far Cry series. Gets wackier and wackier each time, guys. Far Cry 5 is more realistic than the last two, which took place. The third one took place on an island, and the fourth one took place somewhere in Asia. I was going to say something racist, but somewhere in Asia. But the Far Cry 5 takes place in the good old U.S. of A., Montana. It is, what the heck is going on with my laptop? It is. Something's wrong with my laptop. This laptop that I am about to pay off is freaking out. I've had it for a few years, and now the charging terminal is having issues. Anyway, takes place in Montana and what seems like present-day America. With the exception of the stuff that's going on in this story. The story is about a cult leader who is essentially creating a militia in Montana, and it's up to you as a nameless deputy to stop it. And this time, it's the first time you can play as a woman, and I played as a woman. I decided to. You can play as a man or a woman. I decided a woman. It doesn't matter because they still call you dude and bro and stuff. It's very strange. This is also Ubisoft. This is a Ubisoft weekend I had because I played Mario Rabbids today for the first time. But they complained. People were asking, why can't we play as a woman in Assassin's Creed? In Far Cry. I think it was Far Cry 4. I don't think it was Far Cry 3, but I think it was Far Cry 4. They said, why can't we play as a woman? And they said, women's figures are too hard to animate. I think it was either Far Cry 4 or Assassin's Creed Syndicate, or before it was Assassin's Creed Unity or Far Cry 4, one of those. And it said women's extremities were too hard to work with. And I always thought that is so stupid. That is the dumbest thing you can possibly say. You don't have to animate bouncing breasts all the time. Ubisoft. I know you're French. I know you guys are horny as a regular American man or woman, but there's no way that you needed to do that. But Far Cry 5 is really, it's great. It's such a beautiful, I hate talking about graphics, but it is so gorgeous. I'm playing on the Xbox One. I played on the Xbox One. I think I was going to get GameFly because the amount of money I spent in the past 4 days for that one game could have gone to GameFly, or I could have gotten a free trial, and I could have gotten the game. I could have it for the entire month because it was Easter weekend. I just didn't have time to play it. I had a date last night. I had I worked for like 12 hours on Saturday from like 7 to, oh no, I worked for 15 hours, 7 to 10. And then Friday's when the only time I played it. And then today, when I got back from one of my other jobs, I played it. So I don't know, but it was a really good game. I really enjoyed my time with it. I'm going to play it some more at some point. I'm just readjusting the microphone if you hear a lot of movement. I know you did, because I definitely heard it with the headphones. But Far Cry 5 is really enjoyable. It's a lot of fun. You can play with a bear named Cheeseburger. You can play with a dog named Boomer. You can play with they team up with you. They're like your partners. You have regular human partners too. You can a jaguar named Peaches, or a mountain lion named Peaches. And then you can go around. You can drive around. You can fly planes. You can fly helicopters. You can parachute, wingsuit. You could kill cultists and stuff like that. And so, it's what I brought to this game. This game is really political. While it is set in Montana, and while it's a very beautiful game, they make a lot of the grimy elements of the state and the racist elements of the state. They really make those look horrible. Oh my gosh. I met the one character's name is Herc, and he is, just a down home Jethro boy, just a good old boy. Their words, not mine. It's just one of those guys, and so he and his dad are bunkered down in their house to protect themselves from the cultists. And then so you go to talk to the dad to start Herc's mission, and the dad mentions Obama. He's just like he goes, he's running for Senate. That's his whole storyline. He's running for Senate. Herc Sr. is running for Senate, and he goes, that President Obama, which I always thought was funny, which I thought was hilarious when I saw it pop up. But Far Cry 5 is a very fun game, and I wish I had someone to play it with, because there is a whatchamacallit, co-op. You can co-op through the whole game. Speaking of co-op, there's a game called A Way Out I want to play really badly. I want to play but it's 2-player. It's mandatory 2-player, and I don't have any friends, and the people that I am friends with online, I don't want to play video games with them, because also I don't want to play video games online. It's a lot of time. You gotta set up the time to come to play video games and stuff. It just seems like so much work. I don't want to do that. And last thing, I had a date. I had my first date in a very long time. I wouldn't say very long time. I would say like 2 months, a month. No, because I just got broken up with. It's been 2 weeks. I rebound very quickly. No, I don't rebound quickly. I try to make myself seem really cool, but I'm not. No, it was great. We went to a restaurant called Oku down in Atlanta, West Side Provisions, right across from West Side Provisions. It was really, really nice sushi restaurant. It's like Atlanta's Nobu, which is not. If you know what Nobu is, rappers talk about it all the time. It's a very fancy sushi restaurant in LA, and it's really expensive, and that's what rappers love it. And I had foie gras for the first time, because I only knew what it was, because actually I didn't know what it was. I knew the name because Chance the Rapper, in one song, and he has an album with Lil Durk. Is it Lil Durk? No, it's Lil B. Oh boy, I feel so stupid. He has an album with Lil B, a mixtape with Lil B that came out a long time ago. It was an improvised freestyle. I'm thinking of this in terms of comedy. It was a freestyle mixtape with Lil B, or I assume it was freestyle. But because they kept saying it was freestyle. They kept saying they're coming on the top of their head. That's why. But it was really good. And he mentioned foie gras on one of the songs, and I thought, this is gonna be. I want to have some foie gras. It's duck belly, if you don't know. Also had salmon belly, and so a type of roll. Really good. It's good. And the girl was great. The woman was great. I forget how old I am sometimes. You can't, and also you can't describe people as girl or whatever. Anyway, okay. Move on from that before I get in trouble. But it was good. We had a good time. She's a very smart person, and she's very cute. And I am equally a smart person and very cute. So there you go. I'll move on. I don't want you to know too much about my personal life. Oh, also this week, the Weeknd has a new album out. It was an EP actually, but it's wonderful. There's a song called "Call on My Name" that I referenced in this week's News Time, which was also, little known fact, Easter Sunday. Today is April 2nd. Easter Sunday was April 1st. I was up so very late on Easter making News Time. I shot this story. I didn't have a chance to shoot the intro. Also didn't write the intro until yesterday, until Sunday, until Easter morning. And then I went to work, and then I went on this date, and then I came back, and then I had to edit News Time. I had to actually shoot the cold open. I had to cut that down. I had to and then also for News Time, for this week's News Time, it was about Spotify. It is about Spotify going to the IPO, which is today. It's going to the stock market today. So if you want, buy some stock from before it gets really high, because they did this thing called a public offering, which means that people who have shares privately and Spotify, prior to them going public, could sell them for any price they want to. So it could be as low as $10, it could be as high as $1,000. So buy it if you see it. It's very low. Just buy it. I don't know. I don't know what I'm talking about. But I for the cold open, I'm trying to branch out the cold opens at least. If the stories have to be me static standing in front of a black sheet, which is the easiest thing and the best way for those stories to be portrayed, then I think that the cold opens could at least have this differing view. So for the Spotify one, I did a rap, and it is so difficult writing a rap song, especially when you only have 15 minutes to do so, especially when it's 12 o'clock in the morning and you're going to go to the gym in 5 hours. So I decided I did it. And I did it, and I shot it, and it came out as good as I would have hoped. It came out even better. So there's that. And I don't have to explain what News Time is later on in this episode. For music this week, I listened to a whole bunch of music. The World Is Yours with Rich the Kid. Golden Hour, Casey Musgraves, Colorblind, DJ Esco, Future, and a lot of Young Thug, I believe. I believe Young Thug is featured on the tape at least 4 or 5 times. Let me double check. I'm almost positive he is. It's at least 4 or 5 times. Young Thug, 2, 3. Oh, it's only 3 times. I swear I heard him 5 times this morning. There's so much Young Thug on this tape. But I really want to talk about Casey Musgraves' album. It is so good. She is so good at what she does. Oh my gosh. It's such a good album. The album is called... I clicked on it, and it's called Golden Hour. And my God, she's a gorgeous woman. It's only 45 minutes long. It's got 13 songs on it. There's a song called High Horse that is just insane. It sounds so good. The production on this album greatly outpaces whatever was done on the other 2 albums, Pageant Material and Same Trailer, Different Park. I listen to country too. I have different tastes. Let's see what else is good. Love Is a Wild Thing is good. Oh What a World. Lonely Weekend is good. Slow Burn. It's a very slow starting album, and then it gets into this rhythm that just cannot be matched. And Casey Musgraves has a talent for writing songs. She has a talent for performing them. I think that by the time I move to California, she will be playing with Harry Styles. And I think tickets are cheap, so I'm going to go ahead and get those. Speaking of which, I might be going to U2 and a Taylor Swift concert when I visit California. And hopefully I might be visiting California at the beginning of May. Hopefully. If tickets are cheap the tickets are cheap. If plane tickets are cheap and the U2 tickets are still the same price and the Taylor Swift tickets are still... Because the Taylor Swift's not coming to Atlanta until August, and I'm not going to be here. But U2 is coming. They're starting their tour in May, and they're going to be here... at the end of May. And if Taylor Swift is going to be, if I can get to California, to San Jose, the 1st of May to look at apartments and to see U2 and Taylor Swift, then I'm just going to do it like that. Also, tickets are cheaper there for some reason, even though the cost of living is higher there. Although I did see an article that said that Atlanta is greatly outpacing San Francisco in terms of expensiveness, but but San Francisco already has $4,000 apartments, so really calling it different there. And then also The Weeknd, My Dear Melancholy, that's what it is called. The song Call Out My Name is just so good. Oh my gosh. Then there's Wasted Times, Hurt You, Privilege, I Was Never There. Why am I naming these out of order? And Try Me. Oh, so good. 6 songs that are just great to if you have ladies, if you have a man, if you have a woman, women, if you have a woman, man, if you have a man, you gotta love her out there is what I'm saying. You go out, you take this person, or whatever they identify as, and you just make sweet love to them. Also, I'm still listening to I'll Be Your Girl by the Decemberists. I know I just jumped from The Weeknd to back to the Decemberists, but I wanted to mention them because I really like that album so much. I like the Decemberists a lot. I like a lot of stuff. I can go from one topic to another, just like that. Speaking of going from one topic to another, I'm going to get out of here because it's kind of late, and I'm very late recording of this podcast. That's going up in less than 6 hours. So you do the math. If it uploads at 6 a.m., you do the math. Also, I did the math wrong. It's less than 8 hours. So if you like what you heard here, I want you to go to the website, cpluscomedy.com, where we've got the latest news, reviews, features, interviews, and other good comedy bits that only I can provide you with. You can follow us on Twitter at cpluscomedy. Follow me on Twitter at ChadBlackWhite. If you're still on Facebook, due to Cambridge Analytica, privacy, whatever, like us there. I'm not going to delete it. Who cares? Look, I am deeply embedded into Google. They know everything I've searched for, everything. So, it's too late. I'm already taken. Like Liam Neeson's family, I've been taken 3 times. Did they get back? I've seen Taken 3. I don't remember if the family got back together. I think the mom died in Taken 3. Yeah, I think she did, and he just had the daughter. That's a weird set of movies. Why did they have 3 of those? I have the first one on Blu-ray, I think. Yep, I'm looking at it right now. Wow, that movie is so old. What's the movie that he Nonstop? Nonstop's the one that's taken on a plane. And then he should just do one that's taken on a train. And he should just do one that's taken on an automobile. That's a dumb reference. I made those jokes during the date. And this is the first time ever I've went out with a girl and she has told me to stop making bad jokes. I really do appreciate it. Because that is brave of her to say, hey, your personality sucks. Stop it. She wasn't saying that. She was just saying the jokes were bad. There's one thing at the restaurant that was called the Sugar and Spice, and then I said, I looked and I waited. I looked at the waiter. I said, hey, let me ask you a question about this Sugar and Spice. About it. Is everything nice? And he looked at me. He got the joke. He goes, oh, never heard that before. And we just kept reiterating he never heard that before, which is great because I wanted to be the first on the links with that one. That's a golf reference, first on the links, and and she told me to stop. This is we've known each other for maybe 10 minutes, and she told me to stop. Great. So that's how my life is going. Also, I just remember this. I finished this Santa Clarita diet. Drew Barrymore, Timothy Olyphant, Liv Hewson. Great show. Such a wonderful show. Such a great cast of people. So funny. It's a zombie show. I hate zombies, if you know that about me, which you do. And just wonderful. Wonderful show. And I can't believe that this person did not text me back when I texted them happy birthday. But it's a good show. Watch it on Netflix. I can't talk too much about it because this show is already too long right now. Where was I? Like us on Facebook. Tumblr. No, we don't do Tumblr anymore. Oh, go to youtube.com if you want to see my face. If you want to see my face, go to youtube.com /C+Comedy, where that episode of News Time I just described, you can watch it there. It's a great show. I love it dearly. I love doing it. Even though I was so late with it all of this weekend, I still love doing it. It's a tough thing to do, but I love doing it. I love it. It's easy. It's tough, but it's easy. All right. Thanks. This is it. Bye.